period of time.
Oh, you're fine.
And one of the things that I said to him, which I thought was very important, is one, I wanted to remain in Oakland County. Two, I wanted to be accessible to lots of great talent. And I really wanted to make sure that we could get around very quickly and easily. One of the things that many of you don't know, we do business in 35 states. I was just saying earlier that we have our first practice in Alaska. And so, yes, so we do business in 35 states, and so I spend more time, I think, out of Michigan than in Michigan. But it is my hometown, and it's my home state. I love it dearly.
No problem.
Quick story about my wife, but she's not here, but I wish she were. I had a previous business, and we were successful in that business. And I said to her, I'm thinking about moving out of town. And she said, absolutely, I'm on board. And I said, wonderful. She said, as soon as my parents pass away, right? And I said, Tina, your grandparents are still living. She said, very good.
Yeah.
That's the point. And I said, all right, so we're settling in, and Michigan's going to be where we live for the rest of our lives. And so I am one of the major components of Michigan around this country. And very proud to be a part of what we do here, and really proud to be a part of the renaissance that's happening in this community. And so with that, thank you all. Everyone in this room has contributed in some way to that success story that we're building, and so I want to thank you. As well, I want to introduce Brooks Patterson, and I want to say just a couple words about what they're doing, because I think it's important. Irene, if she's around, I'm sure she is. Irene has been absolutely spectacular in helping us get introduced to all sorts of folks here in the community, and it's really been wonderful. And not every county or every government is doing what they're doing in Oakland County, and so I very much appreciate that. Troy as well has been spectacularly supportive, and so thank you all and Troy for doing so. So with that, I want to turn it over to Brooks, and Brooks is going to have a few comments to say as well. So
Thank you very much, Mike. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This guarantees a standing ovation. I'm delighted to be here. I mean that sincerely. That's not a standard opening line, because really what's happening here under Mike's leadership and all of you as part of the team, friends, supporters, employees, investors. Let me tell you a quick story to understand why I'm excited that GloStream has picked Troy and Oakland County to take up root and expand and grow here. A couple of years ago, I was driving around the county, and I'll keep this short. This could go on for a while, but and I saw Providence Hospital up in Novi. A couple thousand jobs are being created there, about a $250 million investment. Later on, maybe in the month, I forgot the exact time frame, I was over in West Bloomfield. There was the Ford Hospital, the West Bloomfield Ford. A little bigger investment, maybe 350 million, similar number of jobs, about 2,000, maybe 2,300. Went up to Patterson, where I'm from. And McLaren is moving down from Flint. They bought 90 acres. They're making a $600 million investment there. I go over to Rochester, very close to the Rochester crowd. I used to be on the board there. And I'm following very closely the new William Beaumont, Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, which opens up actually rather quickly on August the 11th. And they have the first class of 50 students from an applications, 3,300 applications for 50 slots. The first class comes in August 11th. We actually hired some economists to gauge the impact of a medical school in the community, since it's been almost 60 years since we opened our last medical school in the state. Listen to these numbers. When that school is fully ramped up to about 650 students, the annual economic impact of the Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, $3.2 billion. 10 to 12,000 employees. Then you go down to Royal Oak, of course, you got the proton beam therapy accelerator being installed on that campus. St. Joe did his patient tower. All of a sudden, you say, and I did, I called up Pat Anderson from the Anderson Economic Group. I said, Pat, I mean, this is booming. I want you to quantify what's happening in the healthcare field. And I think I commissioned that study in late 9, was it, Irene? And he came back 6 months later and said, here's what you got, Brooks. Today, now this report's about a year and a quarter old. He says, today, you've got 93,000 people in healthcare and life science related fields in Oakland County, the largest concentration in the entire state. We've counted 4,220 some identifiable addresses where businesses are located within the life science, more than any other county. I mean, it is your fastest growing, strongest sector if you're going to turn your economy around. And then we come across GloStream. The second one down the line, by the way, was IT. Well, between healthcare and IT, I got a hold right here. So I recognize what you all do. I can't be more delighted because it fits in with the long-term strategy of Oakland County to make this region, we'll start with the county, but it's going to spill over to southeast Michigan, a center of healthcare excellence. And I went around to all the hospitals. Oh, I got to tell you what I did. I started an organization called Medical Main Street. And I went to all the hospitals, started with them first because they're the dominant employers. And I asked Schlichting and over in Ford and Incanati and then down in Beaumont, yes. And I said to these guys and gals, am I naive in assuming that if we all combine our resources into one association, hence Medical Main Street, that we, in this region, we can go head to head with the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic? Every one of them unanimously said, yes, we can. We've got the infrastructure, we've got the talent, we can do it. And I talked about this phrase I'd heard as I did my rounds and did my due diligence. It's called medical tourism. And I said, well, could we be a destination for healthcare? They said, we already are. The hospitals that I mentioned to you now see patients from 50 states and about 30 countries around the world. Well, we've got to package that. We've got to brand that. And so Medical Main Street is off and running, and GloStream is one of our premier partners because, frankly, you encompass and embody everything that I think this region will come to represent, which is excellence in healthcare, and GloStream is leading the way. So to commemorate that and your commitment to, I've got a certificate, I won't read it because they're mostly the same, but I just want to compliment you. And thank you for your investment in Oakland County, and I know you're going to be successful and the best of luck.
Thank you very much for your support. I'd also like to introduce Mary Kerwin from Troy. Mary would like to say a few words, if you would, please.
So much.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful to just follow these visionary leaders because that's really what it takes. What the two men on either side of me have recognized for a long time is that it's through partnership and collaboration that success happens. And when I look around this room at so many people who are connected in so many different ways, that's really how this moves from an idea in a basement to joining together in this wonderful facilities with many of the partners throughout. I do want to recognize a couple of my partners who are here with me today. I have Councilmember Beltramini and Councilmember Fleming with me, so thank you both for being here for this very special occasion. I do also want to follow up on Brooks's remark. When people come here for that tourism and procedure, we're ready to feed them and shop them and certainly that's something we can do. And we do always recognize our #1 employer right now in Troy, Beaumont. So this is really the emerging sector that Brooks always talks about and points out. For some of us, and I look around the room who have hair like me, who are in the sandwich generation, we're very, very pleased with what you do because you are completely patient-focused. And you may not have experienced, like some of us have, going to a hospital with an elderly parent. I had my mother in Arizona, bringing her in and saying, well, you have the medical records here. I don't know what prescription she's on. I don't know what other things she's had. And they really couldn't pull it. Now it's a click away. And so from the bottom of our sandwich generation hearts, I truly do appreciate it. It was a long time coming. I love the collaborative from the federal government that's making it possible for more individual doctors to embrace the technology that will make a difference in patients' lives and the children's of those patients and sometimes the parents of those patients. So thank you for what you're doing to make this innovation have an impact in our daily lives. And I guess the longevity piece is going to happen with those grandparents.
Exactly right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. From
the mayor and from my council members and from all of the residents in Troy, we wish you continued success right here.
Thank you.
He'll fix this.
What's that? Let's get up. Oh, get Puch. We get the, okay.
Mike, can I just raise a question?
Yes.
Is anybody from Michigan State out there?
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Oh, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Mary's got it covered. Let's get you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I like how
we want that.
you want
You want this?
Oh, I just see it's
You want the, you want the city of
For the cause.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
already.
Okay.